Why do modern fighter jets still use guns and cannons? Modern fighter jets, despite their advanced weaponry, high-tech missiles, and cutting-edge technology, still retain an age-old feature: guns and cannons. This might seem counterintuitive in the age of precision-guided missiles and advanced combat systems, but there are compelling reasons for the continued inclusion of these traditional weapons. To understand why fighter jets still have guns and cannons, it's essential to look back at the history of aerial combat. During the early days of aviation, aircraft were primarily used for reconnaissance, with little emphasis on carrying weapons. However, as soon as pilots encountered enemy aircraft, they recognized the need for armaments. At first, they resorted to carrying handguns and rifles for self-defense. The initial attempts to mount guns on planes were limited by weak engines and weight constraints. As aircraft technology improved, machine guns became more practical for mounting on aircraft. Heavier machine guns could be operated by a second crew member. Still, an issue arose: firing forward would risk damaging the plane's propeller. In 1915, a Dutch engineer devised a mechanism that synchronized the gun's firing with the propeller's rotation, allowing the gun to shoot without damaging the propeller. This technology facilitated air combat, leading to dogfights. During World War II, as aircraft technology improved, the need for more powerful armaments became evident. Aircraft became more resilient with features like armor plating and self-sealing fuel tanks, making explosive ammunition a necessity. Machine guns, while effective, had limitations, such as slower rates of fire and less impact when hitting a target. This led to the development of aircraft cannons, capable of delivering explosive rounds. However, they had slower rates of fire compared to machine guns, requiring more accuracy. A compromise was eventually reached, where some aircraft were equipped with both guns and cannons, ensuring versatility in various combat scenarios. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, the introduction of air-to-air missiles led to the belief that guns and cannons were obsolete. Aircraft like the F-4 Phantom were initially designed without an internal gun. However, during the Vietnam War, it became evident that relying solely on missiles had limitations. Missiles could miss their targets, and close-range combat situations rendered them less effective. In response to these shortcomings, modifications were made to aircraft like the F-4, enabling them to carry guns for close-range combat. Since then, almost all fighter aircraft have been designed with guns, including the advanced F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II. Why do guns and cannons persist? Missiles have limitations. Despite the advances in air-to-air missile technology, they still have limitations. Many missiles have minimum engagement ranges, meaning they can't engage targets that are too close. Missiles are also vulnerable to countermeasures like flares, chaff, and electronic countermeasures. In heavily jammed environments, the reliability of missiles can be compromised. This is where guns and cannons come into play. In close combat scenarios, a gun provides a critical advantage. It is highly accurate at short ranges, unlike missiles with minimum engagement distances. Guns can hit targets within a few miles and are not easily deceived by countermeasures or jamming. Without a short-range weapon like a gun, fighter pilots would need to maintain a specific distance from the enemy, fire before the enemy gets too close, or engage in close-range combat without an effective weapon. Redundancy. While missiles are the primary armament for long-range engagements, guns provide redundancy. Having both options ensures that pilots are well prepared for various combat situations. Guns are simple and reliable, with minimal room for electronic or mechanical failures. They offer a fail-safe option when other weapons malfunction. Guns for air superiority. Fighter jets designed for air superiority, such as the F-16, F-15, Su-27, and J-10, are equipped with guns because close-range combat situations are still prevalent. The high rate of fire of these guns ensures effectiveness in close encounters. Even though air-to-air missiles are the primary weapons for these aircraft, guns remain vital. Modern fighter jets like the F-22 Raptor and F-35 Lightning II have internally mounted guns. While they can carry missiles that engage targets from miles away, these guns play a crucial role in case of close-range dogfights or when missiles fail.
Out of missiles! Switching to guns! Come on, Ness, come on! You got him, Mel! It's not over yet. One last chance. You can do this! Come on, Maverick.
In the high-speed, high-stakes world of aerial combat, having a gun can be a game changer. Role in ground attack. Besides air combat, the guns on fighter jets also serve a ground attack role. They are effective for strafing ground targets, especially when precision strikes are not required. A burst of cannon fire can be as devastating as precision-guided bombs in certain ground attack scenarios. Future of fighter jets. While some fifth-generation fighter jets like the F-35 and Su-57 retain guns and cannons, it's worth noting that the next generation of fighter aircraft is leaning toward abandoning these traditional weapons. The focus is shifting towards extreme speed, high-altitude capabilities, advanced air-to-air missiles, and even laser weapons for air superiority.